Neily on Nutrition, and I am thrilled to have Jill Castle. Jill and I have been virtual friends for a little while, and we met obviously online. And you are speaking here.
Sounds like a dating service.
I know.
We met online.
And you're speaking here at the Texas Academy Conference, our ACE conference, which you did a really fabulous job.
Thank you.
And so I started listening to your the Nourished Child podcast. I love your new logo, by the way.
Thank you.
And I voted on it, so
Yes, thank you.
gave you some input. Pediatrics is your primary market.
That's right.
And you also have a couple of books, and those are?
Eat Like a Champion, Performance Nutrition for Your Young Athlete, and Fearless Feeding, How to Raise Healthy Eaters from High Chair to High School.
So in regard to that, with childhood obesity, can we talk just a little bit about that? I mean, we might need to spend a whole hour, but what kind of nuggets can we give, parents and for people to prevent, or do anything that we can to prevent?
Well, I think a lot goes into prevention, and I think as a society we really look at food as the answer or the solution to repairing or reversing or preventing childhood obesity, and in part it is partly getting the food right and nice balance and all foods fit and having boundaries and regulatory patterns with eating meals and snacks, but it's more than that too. There's a lot that goes into a parent's feeding style, the practices that they use day to day, whether they're monitoring their child's eating or not, the healthy lifestyle that they're setting up in terms of activity, sleep patterns. So when it comes to preventing childhood obesity or extra weight in children, you certainly want to have a great food system in your home, but you also want to make sure you have a feeding strategy.
Okay.
So when I talk about feeding strategies, I talk a lot about setting up a structure.
Okay.
So when meals happen, when snacks happen, where they happen, the timing of all of that.
So it's not like just ad lib, eat whenever.
It's not, pantries open all day long on the hour. There are more boundaries around food and eating. So one boundary that I teach families is to close the kitchen. So not literally where you're batting down the hatches and you're locking the doors, but you're basically having a policy that says, okay, we have lunch now at noon. The kitchen's closed until snack time, and that might be at 3 o'clock for a particular family, or 2:30, depending on the age of your child. But you have these guidelines and boundaries and limits in place. That's just good food parenting.
So structure, having specific times that you're going to have those eating times, those eating patterns.
Right, because that really sets up a rhythm, and it sets up predictability for children. So some children who might be carrying extra weight might be a little food focused because there's unpredictability in the household in terms of when meals happen. And when children become food focused, like they're worried about their next meal or whether what's being offered they will like, they can seek food, or they can be sort of obsessed about it, talking about it all the time, really triggered by it. But when you have a structure set up and everything's very predictable and a child can come to a mealtime or a snack and get a nice balanced meal that's nourishing to them, you have less of that food worry.
Perfect. That's great. We'll wrap it up here. Good deal. This is Neily on Nutrition, and again with Jill Castle, jillcastle.com. Castle just like the castle.
King and queen.
There you
I'm
go.
the queen of my castle.
Thanks for watching Neily on Nutrition. We'll see you in the next video.